Let's welcome the Engineers. Once again, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Princeton Tigers for today's ECAC matchup between the Tigers of Princeton University and your home city Engineers of Princeton. Let's meet the starting lineups. First, the visitors from Princeton. Starting in goal, number 33, Colton Finney. At left defense, number 28, Aaron Ave. And at right defense, number 6, Jeremy Goodwin. The starting forwards for Princeton at left wing, number 7, Tucker Crockett. At center for the Tigers, number 10, Jonathan Liao. And at right wing, number 9, Jack Berger. The rest of the Princeton Tigers, their head coach is Bob Pryor. And now let's meet the starting lineup for the Engineers of RPI. Leading the Engineers, please welcome the junior engineer, number 9, Daniel Pauly. Starting in the goal, a junior from Buffalo, New York, number 34, Scott Ebold. At left defense, he's a senior from West Palm Beach, Florida, number 3, Ian Rupp. At right defense, a junior from Ebony, Ontario, number 10, Curtis Leonard. The starting forward for the Engineers. At left wing, a junior from Tennessee, Ontario, number 9, Matt Weir. At center for the Engineers, a senior from Kingston, Ontario, number 23, Brock Higgs. And at right wing, a junior from Stanford, Connecticut, number 39, Ryan Henry. The rest of the Engineers, their head coaches, Seth Hafford, assistant coaches, Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. We ask that you please rise as the RPI Pep Band will play the national anthems of Canada and the United States of America.
WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point your browser to www.wrpi.org, and you can hear our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we're proud to broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, that is www.wrpi.org. Also, WRPI is looking for current RPI students to make live calls such as this one between RPI and Princeton in hockey. There are opportunities this season to get on the air for men's hockey, women's hockey, and baseball later on in the year if you so prefer. If interested, please send us an email at wrpi-sports@rpi.edu.
Thank you, Ed. 20 minutes on the big board. In goal to my left, Colton Finney for the Princeton Tigers as they skate from left to right across your radio dial. In goal to my right for the Engineers, Scott Diebold as the Engineers skate from right to left. Opening face-off, Jonathan Liao against Brock Higgs, taken by the Engineers, and LeBoeuf will whack at it and send it in the neutral zone. He'll get it back in front of his bench. It's gloved down, and the Engineers are forced to retreat with it. And we get an early offside call on Princeton, so this will lead to a whistle. The Engineers head coach Seth Appert, assistants Brian Vines and Nolan Graham. Princeton's head coach Bob Pryor, assistants Scott Garrow and Greg Gardner. Your officials for tonight's game, referees Kevin Curtis and Bob Ritchie, linesmen David Brown and Nate Turner. Engineers in the home white with the red lettering and red and black trim. Princeton in the road black with black helmets and orange and white trim. Neutral zone draw taken by the Engineers. It's Guy LeBoeuf, has it on his backhand, avoids the forecheck from Brockett, and away come the Engineers. It's Neal in the attacking zone. He fans on a centering pass, allowing Liao to pick it up for Princeton. Higgs intercepts neutral zone, dumps it back the other way. Finney out of his goal to grab it. He'll flick it with that goalie stick out. Haggerty takes a shot from the half boards, but it skitters across the ice wide of everything. Bradley pinches in to hold it left wing side, and it's turned over. Bradley holds it in at the point, though. Banks high off the end boards, and Princeton forced to retreat behind their own net. 8 Princeton players who have logged some ice time have been injured this year, including their 2 top scorers from last year, Tyler Majeri and Andrew Kaloff. Princeton hurt by these injuries, and they have a 2-7 conference record to show for it. Only dressing 11 skaters tonight, 11 forwards tonight, and 7 defensemen, the extra defender, to make up for the... Actually, they're only dressing 10 forwards tonight and 7 defensemen. There we go, finally. So 1 skater less than they're allowed to dress.
18:54 left to play in the first. No score, RPI Princeton. And you mentioned it. That's why it's important for RPI to jump on them early.
Kesselman against Zaleski for the neutral zone draw. Corralled by the Engineers. Ahead for Zaleski at the logo. He'll retreat, get away from pressure, and give it to Bradley. Bradley, neutral zone, shovels it in deep Princeton's way. Tigers back to get it. Zaleski had it, but lost it in the referee's skates, and it's picked up by the Tigers. Here they come. It's Carlson with Kesselman. Carlson dumps it in. First one there, Parkerino. He takes a shot to the boards and sends it to the far side where it's turned over. Turned back over to RPI. Bubella has it behind his own net with 1.5 minutes elapsed here in the first. Luke Karate over center. He'll dump it into the far side. Bubella will go back and grab it. He'll bank it off the back of the net, try to pass it to itself, but he gets crushed to the boards, and Princeton takes over. Into the neutral zone they come. It's Zajac. Puck bounces off the RPI, in front of the RPI bench, where Tenorti gets a blade on it and sends it in. Princeton takes. Trying to avoid pressure is Crocious, and the puck is out of play. There's a whistle.
Yeah, puck was tipped up out of play. 17:55 left to play in the first. RPI and Princeton scoreless. But as I mentioned, it's important for RPI to jump on Princeton early, because if Princeton jumps out and gets confidence, eventually, they have only 10 forwards, but if they get that confidence, they can maintain it, and it might be tough to beat them.
Offensive zone draw for RPI. It's taken by Princeton and sent out. Here comes Ammon, 2-on-1. Ammon shot, chest saved by Diebold. Rebound comes to the near side. He's faced square to the shooter on that 2-on-1 to take away the potential goal, and the Engineers come back the other way. It's Tenorti, right wing side, for Bourbonnais in the corner. He gets put to the boards by Ammon. Puck tied up there. Bourbonnais comes away with it, gives it to McGowan at the dot, who return it to Leonard at the point. Leonard wrists one in, sails through everything, bounces off the end boards, goes to the left wing side. Held in at the point by Leonard. He shoves Rankin down to the ice, but Rankin is able to force the puck past everyone back into the neutral zone. LeBoeuf takes over for RPI. He'll move laterally with it, avoid pressure, and get it ahead to Fulton on the left side. Fulton springs Rogic into the circle. Shot comes sharp angle. Ooh, and Schrader had a shot at it with Finney moving to his left, but couldn't do anything. Now high slot, Bradley tees one up. Score! Chris Bradley puts it in, and the Engineers take the lead.
Well, before that, Zach Schrader had a perfect opportunity for his backhand, and he whiffed on the shot. But a good job by Schrader following up his own miss and getting it back to Bradley, and Bradley just wristing it above the net, or above Finney's shoulder in the back of the net. 16:57 left to play in the first. 1-0 RPI over Princeton.
Top shelf goal by Bradley, and from the replay, it does look like that went in cleanly. So Bradley did have a goal taken away, so to speak, on a deflection last night that wound up going to Jacob Laliberte, but he will keep this one as Bradley gets his second of the year to put the Engineers up 1-0 early in the first. Matt Neal has it, neutral zone for RPI. He'll bank it off the left boards, and he'll get it back. He'll send to Higgs at the doorstep. Higgs tries the wraparound chance. Higgs is celebrating, and it's in the net. Brock Higgs with the wraparound goal less than a minute after Bradley's goal, and the Engineers come out buzzing to a 2-0 lead. Brock Higgs with the goal. That'll be Higgs from Neal for sure. See if there's a secondary assist on that. 3:26 into the period. The Engineers take a 2-0 lead. Princeton defense just caught completely flat-footed there as Brock Higgs was able to beat Finney moving to his left. 2-0 Engineers. As the puck is in the neutral zone now, taken by Karate. He fires it in. Engineers have to tag up and get back onside. Taken behind the net for Princeton, it's Crocious. He avoids pressure from Zaleski and moves over his own blue line. Ahead to Ciro. Corralled by Reno behind the net. He avoids Ciro, dishes to Karate, who will shield the puck with his body and shovel it out into the neutral zone. This could have legs for icing. No, it's waved off by the linesman. And back to get it is Crocious. Puck hits the linesman, doesn't clear the zone. Neal pounces on it. Here's Higgs in the slot. Had some space, leaves the Haggerty the trailer, and it's broken up on the back check by Ammon. Higgs didn't have a great chance to score there. The puck was fluttering. Instead, he kind of settled it back to the trailer. Haggerty now. Here comes Ammon, working 3-on-2 for the Tigers if they hurry. Ammon has it. Shot comes in. Diebold makes the easy leg save, directs the puck to the near side. Taken by Carlson. Turned over. Engineers grab it. Here comes Haggerty. 2-on-2 with Neal. Left wing side. Neal gets crunched to the boards, and the puck goes behind the net. Crocious is the first one there. He wraps it around to the right side. Leonard can't hold it in, and it will slide down the length of the ice. 5 minutes gone. First period. RPI Princeton. Engineers with the 2-0 lead, courtesy of Chris Bradley and Brock Higgs. Puck in the Princeton zone, held by LaBeouf, half-boards. He wrists one in, leg save, goes into the slot area, and the Tigers direct it away, but not out. Shoved back in deep by RPI. Tenorti takes right wing corner, looking for some space. Finds LaBeouf high in the slot. LaBeouf shot deflected by Liao. Liao grabs it and flicks it ahead into the neutral zone out of harm's way. Tenorti avoids a pick from the linesman there, and the Tigers come in offside, so there's a whistle. Ed, you got some official scoring for us. What a crazy few minutes that was.
Yes, let's catch you up on that scoring. First, RPI's first goal was 3:03 of the first period. That was Chris Bradley, his second of the year, from Zach Schrader and Travis Fulton, which is Fulton's first point this year. Then it was Brock Higgs from Matt Neal and Chris Bradley at 3:26 of the first.
So 2 points for Bradley, goal and an assist, to go with his assist from last night. Neutral zone puck taken by the Tigers, dumped in. Bradley will go back to get it. Banner weekend for him, and there's still a lot of hockey left to be played here this afternoon. Engineers look to break out. Here comes Rogic. He's got Schrader with him. Rogic gets put to the boards hard by Sabo, and the puck goes down back the other way. Rogic gets crunched again in the left wing corner, but that time Ciro got the worst of it, and he tumbles down to the ice twice in a row. Rogic able to put it on the doorstep for Schrader, but the Tigers direct it back into that near corner. Puck now behind the net. Fulton has it with some space. He'll bank it off the boards for Reno. Reno holds inside the blue, banks it off the end boards. Rogic can't quite get there, and the Tigers take over and come out the other way. Here comes Carlson breaking over center. He's got two defenders, wristed one in, deflected off an Engineer body, and plopped down into the slot. Engineers clear, but the Tigers corral it again, neutral zone. Dumped in. Karate will go get it. He's got pressure from Ford. He'll try to fight off him and another Tiger. And the Engineers break out. Here comes Zaleski to Laliberte. Laliberte, left wing side. Centering pass for Zaleski goes right on net, and Finney will smother it. There's a whistle.
Yeah, Laliberte's centering pass didn't get as much of that out as he wanted to, and it just casually goes right in on Finney, who covers up. Shots 4-1 in favor of RPI, and 2 of those shots were goals. 13:24 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI over Princeton. Talk about what I said about scoring early and putting them away. RPI has certainly done that.
Offensive zone draw won by the Engineers. Bubela's shot, and it's gloved by Finney.
Again, Milos Bubela right off the faceoff, gathering the puck, and he impressed me a lot yesterday too, finding open space and working free and getting himself open with that long reach of his. It comes in handy again.
Offensive zone draw for the Engineers. They win it, but it's turned over. Here comes Ammon. He's got Rankin with him. Rankin racing with Bubela to get the puck. Bubela ties up his stick and grabs it behind the net. Pressure from Liao. Bubela trying to avoid it. They get tangled up, but Ammon comes away with it. Now in front, shot comes in from Rankin. Chest save by Diebold.
Yeah, the puck was sort of squirting free. RPI and Princeton couldn't get sticks on it. It just came free to Rankin right in front of Diebold, who very quickly just covers up into as the puck goes into his chest. 13:01 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
Offensive zone draw for the Tigers. They'll try to possess in the corner there. Liao back to the point for Ave. One-timer from the other point. That was not a great shot. Missed everything. That was Alec Rush for Princeton. But the puck's still in the RPI zone. Princeton looking to set something up here. Down 2 goals to the Engineers as we approach the halfway point of the first period. Haggerty frees it to Higgs. 2-on-2 if they hurry. Higgs with Neal. Higgs over the logo. He's got Haggerty joining the play now, right wing side. He gets tied up by Rush. And the puck is free behind the net. Rush and Neal face to it now. Higgs has it behind the net with some space. Centering pass for Haggerty. Missed him. Got to the point, though, held by Reno. Reno pass to Higgs. Right wing corner. Back to Reno at the point. Reno wrists one in. It goes wide of everything. Haggerty has a chance on the wraparound, but it's poke-checked away by a Princeton player on the back check. And that was Kyle Rankin tried to clear it, and he wound up hoisting it into the crowd. So the faceoff will come back in the Princeton end.
Again, with some nice awareness by Parker Reno on the blue line, realizing he gets the puck on his stick and just dumps it in and lets his forward take care of it, almost resulting in a wraparound goal for Ryan Haggerty, who at the last second had his stick picked up. 12:09 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI over Princeton.
McGowan tries to possess for RPI. He gives it to Tenorti, but the pass to Karate is intercepted. It's back the other way. Reno gets there first, but can't quite clear. Now Bourbonnais comes over to clear on the second effort. Puck is back Princeton's way. Sabo to get it. Does not have legs for icing. Sabo chips it high off the glass, neutral zone. Karate able to grab it as Brockett lost his stick, and the Engineers come in offside. There's a whistle.
11:47 left to play in the first. 2 goals in 26 seconds. One by 23 seconds rather. 1 goal by Chris Bradley, the first one. The second one by Brock Higgs, and that's where we stand. RPI just moving forward. A little anxious there as Princeton player lost his stick and resulted in the offsides.
Tigers take the neutral zone draw. Dump it in. Icing waved off. Diebold settles for LaBeouf behind the net. He avoids the forecheck from Kesselman. Engineers grab it. Rogic out to center ice. He's able to send it in between a defender's legs. It goes on net where it's covered up by Finney.
Yeah, Colton Finney is just going to do the smart thing from now on and just cover the puck. His confidence is shaking a little bit, so he just covers the puck up and not letting any garbage goals from RPI. 11:30 left to play in the first. 2-0.
Higgs, Haggerty, Neal, your forward line on the ice as the Engineers have the offensive zone draw. This is to Finney's right. Grabbed at the half boards by Higgs. A couple of quick passes there. Gets it back to Higgs in the left wing corner. He's checked. Haggerty comes over to help. Now LaBeouf pinching in along the boards to keep it alive. Higgs sweeps it around far side. It's taken by Ave for Princeton and cleared to center. Haggerty tries to advance to Higgs with a bank pass. And the Engineers take it again. LaBeouf near side this time to Higgs. Dumped in. Engineers change their forwards. Fulton and Rogic are out there. Grabbed by Bradley for RPI. Bradley with goal and assist tonight. Ahead to Fulton, left wing side. Schrader was offside there, but no call. Fulton wheeling around with it, goes behind the net. Tries to find, who's that, Dolan at the point. Now Bradley sends one in. Wide of the net, comes to the far side. It's scooped out by Ammon. Neutral zone. RPI first one there, sends it back in. Schrader all alone in that corner. He's got some time. He's also got Fulton in front. Now Rogic and Fulton both there. The puck was on Rogic's tape. He couldn't pull the trigger as the defensive pressure swarmed around him and took that one away. 10:20 to go, first period. RPI with the 2-0 lead, and the puck's out of play. There's a whistle.
Yeah, it seems RPI is buzzing in the Princeton zone, getting open and some good passing, but Princeton had just to collapse at the last second. So good defensive work by Princeton, and causing confusion by RPI and causing them to not pull the trigger. 10:19 left to play in the first, 2-0 RPI.
Yeah, and Johnny Rogic didn't have a whole lot of time on that play anyway to make anything happen, but the Princeton D was right there. Princeton takes over off the face-off. They'll try and force it in deep. They can't. It's back out to neutral zone, where Princeton will bat it back down. Zajac on that dump-in attempt. Now Reno gets tied up with his man down under. Ooh, dangerous chance there for the Tigers as Crocious recovers inside the point. Penalty coming against the Engineers. This will probably be on Reno for a hold or an interference or something like that as he dragged Brockett down to the ice. Engineers touch. There's the whistle. Princeton with the power play coming up.
9:49 left to play in the first. 2-0 RPI. Shots 5-2 in favor of the Engineers. This is going to be a holding. You called it, Rob. Holding against, it looks like Dolan is actually, nope, skating over. He was skating over, saying, hey, what did I do? But
it's Zaleski.
It's
okay,
Zaleski.
He was right there with Reno. So Princeton gets the head start with the offensive zone draw. Liao wins it back to the point for Rush with Crocious out there. Rush's shot comes in, it deflects. Higgs is there first, 2-on-2 with Neal the other way. If he hurries instead, nope, he'll just dump it in. It'll go on net. Neal coming in on it. Finney able to cover and force a whistle. So the Engineers, kind of a home run pass there by Higgs. He thought about charging up 2-on-2 with Neal. Instead took the puck in, fired it on net, let Neal go chase it down, forcing Finney to cover up. So Princeton on the first power play of the game for either team will have to start with a face-off in their defensive zone after the heads-up play by Higgs and Neal to get it toward the net. Rush grabs it for Princeton off the face-off win. Minute 40 to go with the man advantage for the Tigers. Rush gets it back, trades passes, brings it into the zone, but no, offside. As Princeton had pretty much all five guys trying to come across the blue line at once, and offside there, we'll get a neutral zone draw.
Going over some scores for you, this is only men's game in town. Everybody else is tonight, but in women's ECAC action, Brown tied Maine 3-3.
Puck dropped. Engineers grab it, clear it out to center. Rush is there. Cross-ice pass to Crocious, who will advance it and then dump it in. Bradley, first one there for RPI. Now Karate comes to help on his backhand, sweeps it around and out. So Rush will race back for it. McGowan, Rogic, Leonard, and LeBoeuf come out. Leonard and LeBoeuf got a lot of PK time yesterday as a pair, and they're back out there again. Leonard on his backhand, back out to center, past everybody. So Goodwin goes back to take it for the Tigers. Princeton power play, half over. They are looking to get on the board here. They're down 2-0 to RPI at the Houston Fieldhouse. Shot comes in. It's deflected into the corner. Now taken by Liao. Left wing side. Liao wrists one in. Saved by Diebold. Whistle.
Again, Princeton trying to set up, but as I started to mention before, ECAC women's play going on this afternoon. Brown and Maine, they tied at 3. That's the final. RPI and Quinnipiac, no score. That's mid-first period. Clarkson leads North Dakota 2-0. Harvard 1-0 over BC, and Union and Princeton scoreless.
Clean face-off win and a big drive from Ave. Leg saved by Diebold. Goes to Rankin on the left side. He'll cycle with Ammon. Back to the point, Ave and Goodwin. Back to Ave, Ammon pinching in top of the circle. Wrist shot broken up by Leonard, but Ammon gets it back. Rankin fighting for it. Right wing corner. He gets it back as the clearing attempt was sent back in. Puck tipped up. Schrader gets there first. He tries to shovel it out, but it's gloved down by Goodwin and crossed. Rister comes in from the point over everything, and Zajac grabs it right wing side. He'll force it around to the far side, and Higgs picks it up. Higgs and Schrader work out. They'll dump in as the last 5 seconds tick away on this Princeton power play. It's over. 5 aside once again, and the Tigers are denied on that first power play attempt. But nonetheless, here they come. It's Kesselman into the left wing corner. He gets mugged by Bradley, but is able to get the puck back to Crocious at the point. Cross-ice pass to Pompey, broken up by RPI and sent to center. Pompey grabs it at the red line. Cross-ice pass. Here comes Kesselman, tries to deke past Bradley, but it's broken up, and Bubella takes over the other way. Here he comes with Haggerty trailer. Bubella from the circle, shot, sails past everything, but it's held in left point Dolan. Dolan chips it back in, and it's jammed ahead by the Tigers into the neutral zone. It's on edge. Reno races over to grab it. He's dealing one-on-one with Crocius, and Reno breaks up the play. Dumped in by Princeton. 7 minutes to go. First period, RPI ahead 2-0. Parker Reno behind his own net. Swings it around to the far side for Dolan and out to center. Sabo back to get it for Princeton. Cross ice pass to Rush. And it's back RPI's way. Dolan grabs it, has two forecheckers in his face. He turns it over. Now down low, it's Brockett. Brockett tried the centering pass, and Parker Reno sliding down to break it up with the stick. Tigers still cycling the puck, though. They're behind the net. It is Liao. He gets checked by Dolan. And Reno comes over to help, ahead to Bourbonnais, far side. Engineers free at the center as Bourbonnais took a pretty hard check. And Brockett taking it with Liao. Brockett for Liao. He'll pull off, send it to the point. Rush holds it in on his backhand. Cross-ice pass broken up by Tenorti, and it's a race back the other way. Tenorti on Rush. Tenorti pushes Rush, but Rush gets the puck anyway and crosses it in his own zone. Jammed ahead, taken by the Tigers. Here comes Liao. Cross-ice pass to Rush, who joins the rush, and he comes inside the blue line. Back to Rush, shot, score! Alec Rush. He traded passes with Kyle Rankin down low, and Princeton is within one late in the first.
A nice give and go by Princeton. I mentioned the long reach of Milos Bubella, and the long reach of Rush paid off on that one, as the pass from Rankin was right on Rush's stick, who just deflected it past Diebold. 5:52 left to play in the first. 2-1 RPI.
So the Tigers come up on the rush with that, and they get the goal. Beating Diebold was Rush. He passed it ahead to Rankin, and Rankin dropped it back off to Rush. I mean, that was really Alec Rush. Made the whole play happen by joining the play at the red line and then getting the goal at the other end. So the even strength goal draws the Tigers within one. And now the puck is loose, Engineers zone. Bradley takes to Neal in front of his own bench. Had some trouble with it, but is able to force it ahead. Higgs grabs just inside the blue. Cleared back to center just barely by Princeton. And Bradley dumps in as the Engineers are forced to tag up, get back on side. Puck went through LeBoeuf's legs, so he has to race back and get it. He gets checked by Carlson, but is able to work the puck along the end boards to Bradley. Right wing side. Puck flipped up just out of reach of the jumping gloved hand of Higgs. I mean, all of Higgs was jumping, not just his hand, but it was just over his reach. And now Bubella has it in the slot, but it's broken up by the Tigers. Looks like RPI will go on a power play here. There's a slashing call coming up as the Tigers touch the puck. We'll see who goes in. Looks like it's going to be Kesselman off on the slash.
The scoring on that goal for Princeton was Alex Rush, the defenseman, pinching down, getting the goal from Rankin and Liao at 14:08 of the second period to cut this lead in half. 2-1 RPI going on that first power play of the game.
Zaleski, Bubella, Tenorti, Bradley, and Leonard. Three forwards, two defensemen, more of a traditional setup. Face off to Finney's right. Engineers with the man advantage. They have been pretty effective on the power play this year as Liao takes over center. He's working one-on-one with Bradley. Liao attacking zone slot, pulls up, doesn't even try the shot on goal. Instead will try to clear it away, but winds up giving it right back to Zaleski, who takes it into the neutral zone. Cross-ice pass to Tenorti, gains the blue, and Tenorti working free, has it high slot, loses the puck, but Bradley's able to keep it alive. Dump down low off the end boards. Leonard can't hold it at the point with 1:30 to go on the power play, and it's back the other way. Taken by Diebold, he'll settle it. And the Engineers will work it up the length. Haggerty cross-ice pass to Laliberte. He's into the zone, drops for Neal at the referee circle. Now Haggerty, top of the circle, rips one, and it's in the net for Ryan Haggerty's shot. Brock Higgs might have gotten a piece in front, but it's a power play goal for the Engineers. Their power play unit continuing to be effective this year. 3-1 RPI.
Yeah, 4:10 left to play in the first. RPI taking a 3-1 lead on their top power play unit, and nation scoring leader Ryan Haggerty netting his 18th goal on the year in 15 games. So he is a good clip, getting the power play goal, and RPI going up 3-1.
He had time and space at the top of the circle. And the Engineers once again ahead by 2 as the puck now back in their zone. 4 minutes to play, first period. Rogic puts a hit on his man. Puck loose in the Engineers zone. Now grabbed neutral zone by Sabo. He fights with Fulton. Rogic comes in to free it. Rogic sprawled down to the ice, came in offside, still tangled up neutral zone. Finally grabbed by the Tigers and sent out. Leonard behind the net for LeBoeuf in the RPI zone. Head for Fulton. They don't connect. This will be icing against RPI. There's the whistle. So Haggerty from Neal and Laliberté, the scoring on that. They're going to say it went in clearly. That was a hard, fast-moving shot by Haggerty from the circle to make it a 3-1 lead as Fulton will race back for it into the attacking zone. He and Crocius collide, left wing corner. Crocius frees it, spins away, and he gets checked, trying to free it. Still tangled up at the near side half boards. This is all in the Princeton zone with 3:05 to go in the first. Engineers with 3 goals in the period. And Princeton deposits it out to center. Karate sends it back on his backhand to Rankin. And Rankin able to dump in. Behind the Engineer net, it's Karate. Cross-ice pass to Bubella. He kind of clipped Brockett there, and his cross-ice pass is turned over. Now Brockett getting back up has a chance to race back and grab it, but it's icing as Reno gets there first.
Yeah, good job by Parker Reno making sure that Brockett didn't get there. 2:38. Brockett actually had a little bit of an advantage as he was held up. He held up Milos Bubella. He was unable to get in the play. To Princeton's advantage, they looked for the home run pass, but Brockett just slower, a little bit slower than Parker Reno. 3-1 RPI over Princeton.
Zaleski against Brockett on the draw, won by the Engineers. Bubella finding space, high slot. Rister comes along the ice. Kick save by Finney. Now Bubella gets it back, left wing half boards. He's challenged by a pair of Princeton players. Zaleski comes to help him. It's Bradley, left point. Bradley comes in with a high shot, and it's into the chest of Finney.
Scoring on that goal was Ryan Haggerty, his nation-leading 18th of the year from Matt Neal and Jacob Liberté. That's the power play goal. That was Kesselman's slash. He was in the box at 15:50 of the first.
McGowan in the attacking zone draw. He wins it back to Bradley, who'll direct it along those left wing boards behind the net for Bourbonnais. McGowan got checked as he tried to go to the doorstep with it, so he'll retreat behind the net. He winds up losing the handle, and the Tigers take over. Headman pass misses everybody, so Dolan will cross over and grab it. And now Tenorti and Bourbonnais 2-on-1 with McGowan, the trailer, broken up along those right wing boards. McGowan checks his man hard against the end boards, who's able to get it to rush anyway. And here come the Tigers. It's Berger, right wing side. Canceled out by LeBoeuf, and Leonard grabs it. Leonard in his own zone. Knocks it off the boards, and it's a race back the other way between Neal and Goodwin. Goodwin will get there first, but Neal pesters him all the way around as Goodwin able to release and send it to the neutral zone. RPI reverses it. Grabbed by Goodwin. Bounces off a skate. Haggerty grabs it, flicks it back Princeton's way. Minute 15 to go, first period. Haggerty holds, left wing side. He turns it over as he tried to spin around to make a pass. And Zajac grabs neutral zone for Princeton, and he has it tipped up into the RPI bench. There's a whistle.
That was tipped up by Ryan Haggerty, who was fighting to get back into play. 1:06 left to play in the first. 3-1 RPI shots, 9-5 in favor of the Engineers. And out in Hamden, Connecticut, no score after 1 in the women's hockey, RPI and Quinnipiac.
Center ice draw, grabbed by Fulton. He'll move to the right side of it. He's got Rogic crashing the net. He gets erased along the boards by Crocius. And the Tigers dump in. Behind the net it goes to Reno. Liao there, puts a body on Schrader, but Rogic frees it and careens it high off those boards with less than a minute to go in the first period. Engineers leading 3-1. Liao has it broken up. Laliberté grabs. His tried to finesse one through, but it's taken by Liao. Now turned over again. Laliberté with Schrader attacking zone. Laliberté will chase after it as the Tigers try to get it out of harm's way. Laliberté held up behind the net by Crocius and over to play it as Brockett, but not out. Zaleski holds it in, gives it to Bradley, who joins from the bench. Bradley's shot comes in, saved by Finney. The rebound came right in front of him, and he'll just lean forward and cover it.
Yeah, he was able to cover it with his glove. RPI's forward was still crashing the net, hoping that the puck would come loose, but Finney firmly had it underneath his glove and covered up for the rebound. 9.6 seconds remaining in the first period, 3-1 RPI.
Well, Seth Abbott putting 4 forwards out. Oh, no, wait, there's Bo Dolan. My mistake. I was thinking maybe with 10 seconds left he'd put 4 forwards out to try and set something up real quick, but he did not. Face-off taken by the Tigers. Kesselman grabs, wraps it around, goes to the far side and out to center. Haggerty racing back. He gets decked hard into the boards by Rankin as he was trying to play the puck. Just as time expires, that was the horn. Engineers strike 3 times in the first, and they have a 3-1 lead over the Tigers. Except for that one goal, really the only mistake the Engineers made, putting it to the Tigers that entire period.
Yeah, it was a one mistake. It was a defensive lapse, but again, the goal scorer on that rush had a long stride. So here was, RPI defense was right there, and Rush was able to just get his stick out and put it in the above the shoulder of Diebold in the back of the net. So a long reach coming in handy for Alex Rush on that goal. Not saying it would have been a goal if it wasn't for that long reach, but it certainly didn't hurt Rush's cause to get that goal.
Bradley, Higgs, and Haggerty with the RPI goals. The Engineers just look good. They're buzzing. They're beating Princeton to loose pucks. They're jamming in deep. They're winning battles along the perimeter. They're doing all the grinding things to win games, and they're doing all the finesse things to win games. They're kind of really taking it to them here in this first period. Yeah, and
I think with a short bench that Princeton has in this game, too, they're really going to be overmatched as the game goes on. We saw in the second and third period, Quinnipiac last night sort of took over that game in those periods, but I don't foresee that happening with the short bench that Princeton has. I see RPI keeping up the pressure and eventually tiring out Princeton, and should maintain a comfortable lead.
Certainly. So, Ed, you've got the Rensselaer wrap-up coming here in the first intermission, so take us out.
Yeah, the score after 1 period of play is RPI 3, Princeton 1. You're listening to live coverage of Engineering Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
To take on number 7, Williams College F.
Stadium Cafe, Rensselaer Summer Programs, Rensselaer Alumni Association, Nitro Companies, Bombers Burrito Bar, Sodexo, Subway, the Hilton Garden Inn, the Recovery Sports Group, E. Sir Jones Law Firm, RPI Bookstore, Rensselaer Honda, Chipotle, Domino's Pizza, the United Group, Offers, Turner Construction, and Saratoga Eagle Sales and Service, all proud sponsors of RPI Hockey.
Welcome back to the catwalk in Houston Fieldhouse on the campus of Rensselaer Polytechnic Institute in Troy, New York. I was just listening to the band playing their Christmas medley. It's always enjoyable this time of year. I'm Ed DeGarren. He's Rock Trichinelli. You're listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey on 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. RPI has a 3-1 lead heading into the second period. Before we get started with that period, we'd like to thank the Rensselaer Union, which provides the funding for WRPI and all club-related activity of the Institute, including WRPI's coverage of RPI men's and women's ice hockey, football, and baseball later on in the year. Also, I'd like to remind you, WRPI is on the World Wide Web. Point everyone to www.wrpi.edu.org. And you can pick up our broadcast 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So long as WRPI is broadcasting, we will provide our broadcast on our internet feed. Once again, it is www.wrpi.org. Thank you. Now, RPI is currently seeking current students, to make live calls of games such as this one here today between RPI and Princeton. If you're interested, please shoot us an email at wrpi-sports@rpi.edu. There. Confusion over.
Thank you, Ed. You mentioned the pep band playing the Christmas melody. If I remember correctly, that is number 55 in their collection, and most of the band does not like playing it. So, at least you enjoy it, Ed, even though the band may not. Let's go over the scoring from that first period. Chris Bradley getting things started for the Engineers. 3:03 into the first period, with the Apples going to Zach Schrader and Travis Fulton. Brock Higgs made it 2-0 23 seconds later with that wraparound goal, also even strength. Assists going to Matt Neal and Chris Bradley. Alec Rush got Princeton on the board at 14:08 from Kyle Rankin and Jonathan Leow. But Ryan Haggerty made it 3-1 with that laser of a shot on the power play at 15:50 with Matt Neal and Jacob Laliberte picking up the assists. So that's two assists for Matt Neal this afternoon. RPI out shooting the Tigers 9-5 in that first period. RPI 1-for-1 with the man advantage. Princeton 0 for 1. Looking at some face-off statistics here, the Engineers have won 14 of 25 in that first period. So the teams switch sides as we get ready to commence this second frame of action. Scott Diebold in the home white is to my left. The Engineers will skate in front of him from left to right across your radio dial. Colton Finney, the freshman netminder for the Tigers, in the road black. He is in goal to my right. And the Tigers will skate from right to left across your radio dial. No carryover penalties or anything like that. We're 5-on-5 from the outset. And we'll have Brock Higgs against Jonathan Liao for the opening period draw. 20 minutes on the board. The puck is down, won by the Tigers cleanly. It's crossed to Rush and ahead for Berger, and the Tigers are offside. So that rush over before it starts early in the second.
Much like the first period, it was offsides, and we do it again. 19:53 left to play in the second. 3-1 RPI over Princeton.
Neutral zone draw. Still tied up, finally freed by RPI. Leonard grabs it. He'll bank it off the near boards. Ahead trying to spring Haggerty. Haggerty sort of wins the race down the ice, but he gets checked by Ave. And Higgs comes over to help and grab it. Has some pressure along that near board, tried to clear it to the far side and keep it in. And the Engineers comes out to the neutral zone and they dump it back. It comes near side. Ave takes. Ahead for Rush. Brockett there gets checked to the boards by Dolan, and the puck is loose in the RPI zone. Finally taken by Bubella. Here he comes over the red line, dumped in. Zaleski will give chase with Crocius. And Sean Bonner in net for Princeton, not Colton Finney. Finney getting the hook after that 3-goal performance allowing in the first period. So it is Sean Bonner in net, not Colton Finney. As the Tigers try to attack, it's broken up by the Engineers. The Tigers have to tag up and get back on side. Bubella ahead for McGowan. He tried to one-touch pass it ahead to La Liberté, who was breaking. They don't connect. Instead, the Tigers take it. Dolan gives his man a shove into his own bench, sort of. He didn't go into the bench, just into the boards in front of them. As Kurati dumps in, settled by Bonner, who will fire it around but not out as Reno holds it at the point. Shot comes in off the skate of Bourbonnais, and it's a race across the ice to clear. The Tigers get there. They do. They'll send it back out. So RPI sends it back in. Tenorti gets there first, left wing corner. Tipped out by the Tigers. They'll come 2-on-2. Carlson will just dump it in and chase after it. He and Reno collide. Reno able to spin around and sandwich Carlson to the boards with his back as the puck is freed to Tenorti, but not out. Held in at the point, flickered in, weak shot, caught up in Reno, skates, and it comes in on Diebold. That a shot from Carlson, but he makes the save.
Yeah, Reno and Carlson were fighting for the puck, and Reno couldn't get it even though it was in his skates, and Carlson just stuck his stick out and put a quick shot in on Diebold, who was able to cover up. 17:55 left playing the second. 3-1 RPI.
Defensive zone draw to the left of Diebold, won by the Engineers. Fulton will take. He gets met at the boards in the neutral zone. He's down on the ice. Puck still loose. Neither team able to settle it as it is muddied up there on that far side just by the Princeton bench. Still tangled up, finally freed by the Engineers and blasted into the zone. And we get a whistle.
Not sure what this whistle was for.
Looked like Andrew Ammon lost his helmet. That might have done it.
You have a better vantage point than I do. When
he was coming onto the bench without his helmet on, so I believe that's what it was. The scoreboard was sort of blocking us there because while the play is over there, we can see the play on the scoreboard that the scoreboard is blocking, but when the play is not there, we can't see what goes on behind the scoreboard from our vantage point. Not that that's an excuse. We still strive to give you the most accurate coverage we possibly can as the Tigers take it in the neutral zone. Finally, the Tigers able to work it deep. Shot comes in well wide by Ave. Rush will come in. Rush with the goal for the Tigers. He'll just keep it alive, but it's taken instead by LeBoeuf and back out to center. This might have the legs for icing. Yes, there's the whistle. It'll come back RPI's way.
17:09 left to play in the second. 3-1 RPI still leads over Princeton. Just back and forth for both teams so far this period, but it's been a lot of icings. It's been a lot of puck tied up in the neutral zone. So not much going on thus far in the second.
Higgs against Zajac for the draw. This is to Diebold's left. It's held along the boards, and a penalty coming. A boarding call. And skating to the box is Zajac for Princeton. So RPI up on the power play.
This was a very clear boarding call against Zajac, as the RPI player had his back to the boards, and Zajac just hit him into the boards from behind. A classic call right in front of the referee. 17:03 left to play in the second. RPI going on their second power play. They are 1 for 1.
Higgs, Neal, Laliberte, Haggerty, and Dolan, your power play unit. 4 forwards and a D-man. Dolan gloves it down, keeps it alive, will settle it, cross it to Haggerty. Shot from the slot, sails wide on that near side. Laliberte has it right wing side. Neal comes over to help, along with Haggerty. Freed by the Tigers, but not out. Higgs keeps it alive at the blue line, just barely. That was very close. Neal gets shoved into the boards. Higgs has it. He's got Dolan in the slot. Another penalty coming on Princeton. That might be that boards shot as Haggerty smartly passes it right to Berger to get the touch-up. So 5-on-3 coming for the Engineers. They'll have a minute 29 of a two-man advantage as Ammon is off for boarding. So Higgs, Bubella, Neal, Laliberte, Haggerty. Bubella replaces Dolan. 5 forwards here with all that extra space. Face-off won by the Tigers. That's Ciro back to the corner. Wrapped around near side but not out. Held by Laliberte. The Engineers set up. Laliberte to Neal. Laliberte, top of the circle. Haggerty, high slot, rips one, and it's under Bonner. It's behind him, and Neal shoves it in for the goal. Power play goal as it got under Bonner and behind. Bonner really wanted the whistle there, but Neal came, freed it, shoved it in. 4-1 on the 5-on-3 advantage. Engineers making quick work with the two-man advantage means they still have a minute 46 of a regular 5-on-4 power play. That one was under Bonner. Neal, a left-handed shot, crept up behind him and just flipped it out from under him. Bonner stood there for a while by himself, just thinking he had the puck under him, but the replay did show that it was never frozen by him. As Neal comes in and slams that one in. So that'll be Neal from Haggerty for sure. And probably Laliberte on that secondary assist. Engineers still on the power play for another minute 30. They will set up. No, it's cleared out to center softly by Princeton. Engineers have to tag up, get back on side. Held in at the point, no, by Laliberte. It skipped up over his stick, bouncing puck. Dolan has it at the logo. Now Haggerty at the red line. Matt Neal indeed getting the goal. Cross-ice pass. Neal gets it back. Half boards. Now behind the net. Taken by Rankin for Princeton and fired down the length. So Neal from Haggerty and Laliberte, the official scoring on that goal, coming on the 5-on-3, giving the Engineers a 4-1 lead. Dolan takes. Engineers are pinned back in their own end. They have 45 seconds left on this man advantage still. Zaleski loses the handle, allowing a neutral zone shot from Princeton to come in on Diebold. He steers it aside, and the Engineers take. Here comes Bubella, neutral zone, over the red line, blue line, right wing side. He avoids a check from Crocius, gets the puck back behind the net. He'll send far side for Zaleski, has some trouble with it. Wheels around top of the circle, stolen by Liao. Here he comes, Jonathan Liao on a breakaway for Princeton. Has it on his forehand, goes to the backhand, scores! Shorthanded goal for the Tigers, and they claw back within 2 on the shorthanded breakaway goal by Jonathan Liao.
That was just lazy play on the blue line by the Engineers, allowing Liao to just pickpocket the puck and come in all alone on the breakaway. 14:48 left to play in the second. RPI leads 4-2 on Liao's shorthanded goal. Princeton really had no business scoring that one as RPI was really buzzing in the zone. Liao just came and took it away thanks to lazy play.
Liao, a right-handed shot, came in, faked the forehand wrister, went to his backhand, and deposited it 5-hole in the net, making it 4-2. Engineers will try and set up with these last couple power play seconds. The puck directed to the far side. LeBoeuf pinching in. He has it turned over, and it goes behind the net. Sabo is there. Sabo directs it around to the far side where it's grabbed by Carlson. Now ahead for Ammon. He gets put down to the ice by Leonard, and Leonard will go chase it. Jammed around to that near side. Here comes Schrader, neutral zone. Banks it off the boards looking for McGowan. Hacking at it was Ave. Neither of them able to get it, so they'll go chase it into the corner. McGowan hit hard into the boards. Schrader comes to help. McGowan gets it back in the corner. Still has a pair of Princeton players there battling with him. He tries to truck through on his backhand, can't make it out. Finally free to the point for Parkerino. Wrist shot comes in, deflects in front. Higgs had the turnaround chance, but he just pulled it high of the net. Engineers grab the rebound. It's Kurati, takes it far side, tried to dump it in deep, but it's stolen by the Tigers. Here they come. Ciro over the logo on his backhand. He'll just dump it in as his team changes behind him. Taken by the Tigers, still neutral zone. Parkerino struggles with it in front. Zajac is able to free it, but not out. Taken by Ciro. Tried to make something happen, nothing doing. Neal takes over. Here comes Haggerty with Higgs. 2-on-1 if they hurry. Haggerty right side, but the Engineers are offside on what could have been a 2-on-1.
Yeah, they had Neal on the far side, too. He was streaking down to make it a 3-on-1, but he was just offsides. 13:21 left to play in the second. 4-2 RPI over Princeton. A 5-on-3 goal by RPI and a shorthanded goal by Princeton. That's where we stand.
Neutral zone draw. Zaleski against Liao. Won by Liao. Back to Pompey. Dumped in. Diebold will cover it up and get a whistle.
I'd like to remind you, you are listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Coverage of Engineer men's hockey. Ed DeGarry and Rob Trichinelli on the call for you. 13:15 left to play in the second. RPI leads 4-2 in Hamden, Connecticut. Quinnipiac 2-0 over RPI in women's hockey.
Liao against Zaleski. Liao wins it. A shot came in but deflects, trickles out to center. Princeton has to go back and grab it. Crocius wraps it around high off the glass on the dump in. Over to get it Ammon. He gets checked by Bradley. Now it goes behind the net for Dolan to Zaleski. Here comes Brockett. To Brockett turns it over and Bradley grabs it. Bradley got tripped up there by Ammon. No call coming. As Dolan is being harassed by Liao, who has a goal for Princeton. Settled at the point, crossed from Crocius to Rush. Wrist shot comes in, goes wide. Taken instead by RPI. Here comes Bubella, right wing side. He's got Laliberte with him. Here comes Bubella. Deeks past Crocius, but the puck goes into the corner. Bubella will set up behind the net. Centers for Zaleski, who pulled it just wide. Might have deflected on its way toward the cage. Puck in the right wing corner. Laliberte on his backhand. Now Bubella tried the wraparound, had his stick lifted. Now LeBoeuf in low, fires one, but it deflects up over top of the net. Now it's LeBoeuf again, far side. He'll go behind the net to Zaleski. Zaleski setting up, sharp angle shot. Jamming at it is Laliberte, but it's steered away by the Tigers into the right wing corner, and it's flipped out of play by by Liao. So there's a whistle, and it will face-off will stay in the Princeton zone.
Yeah, Bonar was battling at it with Laliberte, and Bonner just got the best of that one. 12 minutes left to play in the second. 4-2 RPI over Princeton.
Rogic on Ammon for the draw. This is to Bonner's left. Won by the Tigers. In the slot, Liao. Liao tried to get bank it off the boards past Bradley. It doesn't work. They get tied up over there. Schrader comes to help out. Puck's still tangled up. Finally freed. Tigers send it in deep. Back RPI's way. Dolan will go get it. Ahead to Schrader. One-touch pass to Rogic. He tries to split the D, but it's poke-checked away from him and into the zone. Bonner just covers it up as it comes in on net. There's a whistle. 13-9
shots on goal in favor of RPI. RPI has the 4-2 lead. That was on Neal's short 5-on-3 goal, made it 4-1, and then Liao on the shorthanded. That was the first goal of the year, made it 4-2.
Higgs, Neal, Haggerty, the forward line out there. Neal back to Karate, the point. Big drive by Karate. Blocker saved by Bonner. Now Haggerty sets up behind the net, twirls around away from his man, away from two Princeton players as Neal was able to grab it, try to bank it off the inboards, picked off by the Tigers. They can't clear, though. And Goodwin grabs it and is finally able to for Princeton. Neal back to Karate in the RPI zone. He'll advance it as the Tigers change. Here comes Karate. He's got some space. Far face-off circle. Fired one in on net. Karate got hit down, knocked the net off, and Bonner made the leg save.
Yeah, showing of speed by Luke Karate there, coming through the zone, picked up a head of steam. And when he comes at you with that head of steam, I'm surprised people aren't getting out of the way. He's a very big man when he gets going. 11:01 left to play in the second, 4-2 RPI over Princeton. And Karate just goes into the net, and the net goes flying all the way into the corner. 15-9 shots in favor of RPI right now.
McGowan, Barbinet, Tenorti, the forward line for the Engineers. Bit of a delay as the net is restored after Karate knocked it off. Face off in the neutral zone. McGowan against Zajac, won by Princeton. They'll steer it to the near side, back to the to center, and dump it in. Leonard will get there first. He'll try to shovel it out of harm's way, but it's stolen by the Tigers. It's behind the net. It's Berger. Left wing side, one-touch pass, Ciro to Ave. Shot comes in high on Diebold, and he pins it against his chest.
That did sort of get deflected at the last minute by Princeton's number 9, Jack Berger, the senior from St. Louis, Missouri, deflected that puck at the last minute, and Diebold was able to hold on to it. Good, nice vision by Scott in the net. 10:41 left to play in the second, 4-2 RPI.
Face-off won cleanly by the Tigers. It's taken by Pompey and dumped in deep. Ubella takes, tried to feed Zaleski. Now it's in front. Berger, he tried to find Ciro, but they couldn't connect. Berger could have ripped the shot, but he was kind of leaning away from it. And RPI comes out the other way. It's Zaleski dumping it in. Laliberte will go back to get it. He and Pompey collide, go down to the boards, leaving Bubella for it, left wing corner. Bubella takes a check from Berger. And Princeton able to have it trickle out into the neutral zone. Puck loose, Princeton zone, picked up by Fulton at the circle. He'll give to Zaleski, then get it back. Puck behind the Princeton net. Zaleski giving chase on Liao, who has a shorthanded goal for the Tigers. Liao avoiding the forecheck pressure from Schrader, crosses it to Pompey. Ahead for Liao. Liao gets tripped by Fulton. Penalty coming against RPI.
Yeah, this is going to go against Fulton on the trip. 4-2 RPI over Princeton, and RPI really let Princeton back in this one with that shorthanded goal. And now Princeton's going on a power play to see if they can get that third goal to get even farther into this one. 9:46 left to play in the second. 4-2 RPI.
Princeton's second power play of the game. They're 0 for 1. It is Kesselman on the draw. He wins it back to Crocius to Rush. Back to Kesselman. Cross broken up by Neal. And he'll just pull up inside the red line and dump it in. Neal takes a shot from Crocius. And Bonner will settle the puck as it went all the way into the Tigers' zone. Rush to Crocius. Drop pass. No, he'll hold it. He had Brockett there. Now it goes behind the net. Kesselman and Brockett. Cleared by RPI. This will go the length. Bonner puts the paddle down to settle it. And the Tigers change their power play personnel. 9:05 to go in the period. Minute 20 to go on the Princeton power play. Here comes Ave. He'll dump in. First one there is Leonard for RPI. Bradley for RPI. But it's held in at the point by Rush. Puck trickles out. McGowan gets there first. He tries to deal past Rush. Zaleski comes to help him out. It's Zaleski attacking zone. He gets pinned against the boards by Carlson. Zaleski working on 3 Tigers players there. And Zaleski losing his stick, so he'll skate off to the bench. And Johnny Rogic comes on instead. Rogic and McGowan, your penalty-killing forwards for RPI. Bradley and Karate, the D-men. Held inside the point by Ave for Princeton. He'll cross it to Goodwin, who fires one in. Save made, and it's directed out. McGowan hops on the rebound and flings it out the length. Princeton changing, RPI changing. Schrader and Rogic, Rogic's still out there. Schrader and Rogic, LaBeouf and Leonard, your penalty killers for RPI. Princeton dumps in. Engineers take but can't clear. Goodwin holds it at the right point, bothered by Schrader, but he's able to get it to the half boards for Ford. Ford shoved into the boards by LaBeouf. No call there, though. And held at the point by Goodwin. Cross ice pass to Ave, back to Goodwin, who flutters one in as we're back to 5 aside with Fulton coming out of the box. Puck on the far side, held in by Goodwin. He steers it toward the net, but LaBeouf picks it off, puts it on his tape up to Rogic. Rogic has Fulton with him and Schrader. Rogic tries to feed Schrader, just out of reach of him, Not sure Schrader was expecting the pass, though, either. As it's picked off by Higgs. He's got a one-on-one if he hurries. Now Fulton joining him. Higgs, left wing, deeks through. He's got some space in front. Oh, what a play by Brock Higgs. Backhander, 5-hole, and it's 5-2.
Brock Higgs. Now, for those of you watching on RPI TV, that was a pretty goal. 7:18 left to play in the second. For those of you listening on the radio, you're just going to have to trust us. Brock Higgs had a one-on-one, puts a nice move on a Princeton defender, then on Bonner again, switched to the backhand, and that was pretty. That was one of the prettiest goals we're going to see this year. 7:18 left to play in the second. 5-2 RPI over Princeton.
First, he deked Quinn Pompey right out of his pads to get by him on the doorstep on the far side. Then took it to the backhand and went 5-hole and completely faked out Bonner, too. Higgs just getting it all done there as Dolan rips a shot. Haggerty takes it and sets up left wing side. Engineers on the attack once again, looking for number 6. Bradley keeps it alive left wing side. Haggerty holds inside the point. He's got it. He'll send it toward the net, broken up by the Tigers. Back to Bradley, left point. Cleared to Dolan, top of the right circle. Dolan will pull up, avoid pressure, dump it in right side. Zaleski has Haggerty in front. Zaleski will set up behind the net. He avoids a hack there from Pompey, and the puck squirts over to the far side where Bradley grabs it. He tried to wrap it around and hit the referee, so Rush is able to clear out the center with 6:25 to go. And we get a whistle here.
That was Brock Higgs
puck out of play.
That was Brock Higgs unassisted at 12:42. That was his 10th of the season to make this one 5-2 on pretty much a deke of Pompey and then another deke of the goalie Bonner. 6:24 left to play in the second.
Center ice draw won by the Tigers. Sabo grabs it. And now it's Crocious who'll clear at the length. Icing waved off. Karate comes back to grab it. But it's taken by the Tigers. It's Zajac pinned along the near half boards along with Bubella. 6 minutes to go, second period. Shot from Crocious. Big drive. Surprised Diebold as it got up high. Diebold is out of position. Now he gets back in there as the puck goes to the point for the Tigers. Crocious has it. He gets checked by Bubella. Loses it for a second. Ooh, Karate drilled Brockett there on the near side. Now a home run pass looking for Laliberte. It gets to him, but not enough time to give him some breakout. But here comes Bubella. Slapper from the near face-off circle. Sailed over everything. Rogic and Liao nearly colliding, allowing the Tigers to take over. Berger leaves one for the trailer. That's Ammon. His shot was saved by Diebold. Puck goes behind the net. Now in front, Fulton for RPI, trying to get it out of harm's way. He's bothered by Liao, forced to retreat into the right wing corner. Brockett and LaBeouf colliding. Brockett slow to get up, and if that's another injury for Princeton, they can't ill afford that. And now we have a goal for Princeton that is immediately waved off, touched by a high stick. Rush's shot came in from the point, and then it looked like it was tipped by Liao out in front. Either Liao or Rankin, both in Diebold's face, immediately waved off on the high stick.
Yeah, that was a quick whistle by the referee. Got to give the referee credit on that one, as he was all over that no goal by Princeton as it was hit with a high stick. And the whistle did come before the goal was scored. So nice job by the referee, Ritchie, in position there to wave that goal off. Now Bob Fryer wants to come over and wants an explanation as to why. 5:12 left to play in the second. 5-2 RPI over Princeton.
So Bob Ritchie talking to Bob Pryor, Bob Ritchie, the referee. I mean, that all happened very quickly. Now, it's possible that because the whistle was so early, that maybe it was not the fact that the goal was tipped by a high stick, because it did not. I mean, we got to see a replay up here, and it did not look like Rankin touched it with a high stick. It's possible that someone else had touched it with a high stick, and then when Rush shot it at the point, he touched it for Princeton, and that is when play was dead, and just the reaction time of the officials to stop play.
Yeah,
that could have been what caused it.
Looking at the replay, I think if anybody touched it with the high stick, it was Diebold, because his stick was down on the ice before it went in. So Bob Pryor saying, hey, you got to at least review this just to see what happened. Either way, it will be a neutral zone face-off, either an inadvertent whistle, which is unfortunate for Princeton, or a high stick.
Well, the officials are conferring on this right now, all four of them.
Well, either way, they already called no goal, so they can't go back and say, oh, it was a goal, because RPI had stopped playing at that point, and it was right on top. So they want to get it right, but they can't go back and call it a goal after the fact.
Because able to, with the benefit of the replay that we had, it did not look like that Rankin had touched that at all with a high stick. So the call is that it was touched with a high stick. This will bring the face-off all the way back into the Princeton zone. So Princeton having a goal waved off, and now they will have to take a defensive zone draw here. Rogic against Ford for the draw. This is to the right of Bonner. Taken by the Engineers. Tenorti got tripped up there. Goes to Bradley at the point. He wrists it in, and it just misses on the far side. Grabbed by Rush. His clearing attempt goes over a couple of heads, but the Engineers are able to corral it and fire it back the other way. Anderson back to get it. First time we've heard his name tonight for Princeton, the freshman defender, as Rogic sets up in the attacking zone. Tried the cross-ice pass, nobody home. So the Tigers take it and come out the other way. Here comes Ford. He's racing back with Dolan. Ford able to direct it toward the net, but Diebold sends it away. Ford sends another one to the net on the sharp angle, but it's held. Now a shot comes in. Rankin got absolutely pasted by Zach Schrader as he took that shot, and then the shot went nowhere, too. Now Neal grabs it, but Schrader's offside, so that's a whistle against RPI. Schrader just a step too early.
Yeah, and he knew it, too. He did try to get back on side, but by the time he did that, Neal was already over the blue line with the puck, and Zach Schrader bangs his stick against the ice in frustration, but I don't think he has anything to be frustrated about. Nice play, just overzealous. 4:28 left to play in the second, 5-2 RPI over Princeton.
Top forward line out for the Engineers. It's Higgs, Neal, Haggerty, Reno, and Karate, your D-men. Higgs will draw against Kesselman. Comes to the right side. Haggerty able to try the dump in, but it's grabbed by Ciro and cleared out to center by the Tigers. They don't connect on the breakout pass, so that's a whistle for icing against Princeton. Face-off will come all the way back the other way.
4:17 left to play in the second. RPI only blemish thus far this period is that shorthanded goal. That was a bad turnover in the offensive blue line, which allowed Leo to get it and break all the way down the length of the ice.
Higgs loses the draw, and the Tigers try to clear. They're having real issues clearing on this sequence, as it's still held in by RPI on the right wing side. Princeton finally able to get a tape on it out to center. Oh, and LeBoeuf just drilled Jack Berger as he had his head down over the logo, shoulder to chest, and Berger went down. RPI grabs the puck, dumps it in. Now it's Haggerty with some speed. Tried to wheel around, but had it stripped away by Berger. And Carlson will take it over center. Carlson working 1-on-3, has it stripped by Laliberte. He tried to lead out Haggerty, but the pass went off Haggerty's skate, and he will just settle for dumping it in and going off on a change. Laliberte, Zaleski, Bubella, that line out now for RPI with 3:30 to go in the second period. Princeton has it deep in their own zone. They can't clear. Now they do as it gets past Dolan. This might have the legs for icing as Dolan is able to beat Ammon down the ice. There's a whistle.
Yeah, it's almost like Jack Berger was skating across the ice and Guy LeBoeuf was just trying to play the puck. And Berger skated right into LeBoeuf. Here it is on the replay. But LeBoeuf definitely did see him coming, but it almost like Berger ran right into him. LeBoeuf didn't go out of his way to make the hit. Berger was right there, and LeBoeuf said, hey, I don't think so. 3:14 left to play in the second, 5-2 RPI.
Now, I might be mistaken here, but I do think that Guy LeBoeuf just was admiring his own hit on the board. As LeBoeuf fires one in, it's loose in the crease. Glove on by Bonner. He's able to get a hack in at the back of Laliberte's legs. Quick bang play there for the Engineers, but turned aside by Bonner.
Well, when the puck hasn't been dropped yet, they're replaying your hit on the board. You might as well look up and take a look. You're not affecting the game at all. Hey, I'm sure everybody here was admiring the hit on the board. 3:06 left to play in the second, 5-2 RPI over Princeton.
This faceoff will come to the right of Bonner in the Princeton zone. Lally Berthet wins cleanly to LeBoeuf at the point. Leonard, one-timer, misses on the near side. Puck bounces to Ford. He'll grab it along the right wing side and charge out with it. He pulls up inside. Rister comes in, goes wide near side. Taken by Liao, held in at the point. Zaleski tried to spring Lally Berthet. That would have been a breakaway for Jacob Lally Berthet because he had beaten Alec Rush up the ice, but the pass just missed, so it's icing against RPI.
Yeah, yesterday RPI was very crisp in their passes against Quinnipiac. Today, not so much against Princeton, just out of the reach of their players. That one cost Jacob Lally Berthet a breakaway opportunity. 2:46 left to play in the second, 5-2 RPI.
Face-off is to Diebold's right. It's Lally Berthet against Carlson. Won by Carlson. Back to Sabo at the point. His shot deflects off Bubella's leg. Goes to the far side. LeBoeuf takes it. Leonard shovels it around, and it's wheeled ahead for Bubella. Puck on edge. Zaleski in a foot race back to get it. He falls down, but is able to prevent Princeton from taking over. Now it's tangled up in front of the RPI bench. Between the red line and the Princeton blue line, tangled up for too long. The officials have seen enough. There's a whistle.
2:25 left to play in the second, 5-2 RPI. Princeton right now just doing a good job tying the puck up. RPI seems to get frustrated because of that, but unfortunately for Princeton, they are on the losing side right now, 5-2.
Rogic against Berger for the draw, just in front of the RPI bench. Grabbed by the Tigers and flitted up in the air. Berger lost his stick. He kicks it up. Reno instead grabs it, but it's gloved down by Rush. Back and forth in the neutral zone. Back and forth a couple more times now as Reno finally settles it ahead to Schrader. Schrader gets a bit of a shoulder check there from Sabo and has it broken up. Karate can't hold at the point. He was just about a step away from being able to hold that in, but he'll fire it on the net. It's steered away by Bonner. Now behind the net, McGowan with Rogic to Reno at the point. Reno, his shot deflected off the leg of Eric Carlson. Looked like it was going to go into the stands, but then it hit one of the rafters and bounced back on the ice.
If that was on this side, we would have had a puck, Rob, but it wasn't. 1:47 left to play in the second, 5-2. At least Kurt would have had a puck.
I don't know. It looked like it hit the lower rafter, so if we had tried to reach it, we would have tumbled to our grisly death on the ice. That's morbid. Haggerty, big shot, and the puck bounces back to him. Neal grabs it behind the net. Higgs takes. Back to Neal. Stripped away by Princeton, but not out as Higgs joins the play at the half boards. Neal, top of the circle. Haggerty misses it, but it's grabbed by Bradley, who'll send it toward the net. It echoes off a pad, and it goes to that far corner. Minute 20 to go. Second period. RPI with the 5-2 edge. Bradley, top of the left circle. Big drive. Just missed. It deflected off of Bonner and went behind him. Maybe about an inch or two wide on that far post. Higgs keeps it in just inside the blue. Engineers just skating circles around the Tigers at this point as Dolan gets knocked down hard by Ammon in front of his own bench. So Bradley will go back to get it with a minute to go in the second period. RPI with a 3-goal lead. He is Ed DeGarian. I am Rob Trichinelli. And we are at the Houston Fieldhouse as the Princeton Tigers are on the attack, but they are down 5-2. Engineers steered away from the Tigers, won't have the legs for icing, so Crocius has to go back and play it. He gets checked by Lally Berthet as he sends it around to the near side. Bubella gets there first. Now Lally Berthet behind the net. Zaleski has it stolen by Princeton, and up comes Pompey. Pompey crossed to Liao. Liao with a goal in this game for Princeton. 25 seconds to go in the period. Liao gets rubbed out along the boards, and now the puck is on edge. It looks like it's was stuck for a second there, but Lally Berthet frees it. Swept around far side for LeBoeuf and flung out of the zone, and it hits off the Princeton bench out of play. So 10 seconds to go. Face-off coming RPI zone.
9.9 seconds left to play in the second. 5-2 RPI over Princeton. RPI content now just to let the 9 seconds run off and go into the bench with go into the intermission rather with a 3-goal lead.
9.910. I just rounded up. Forgive me. Face-off won by the Engineers. LeBoeuf has it, clanks it off those near end boards, and that's icing with 0.2 seconds left. 0.2 seconds, you'd think, oh, that's kind of a lazy play to not time it right, but really with only 0.2 seconds left, not enough time for the puck to completely across the goal line, really. I mean, and you know the timekeeper is going to be itchy on the trigger to start the time once the puck is dropped.
Yeah, as soon as they called the icing, there was a groan from the fans. Why don't you just waste it there? And there's the whistle.
So Carlson was able to fire that one in on Diebold, but Diebold had played the angle, made the save. So the Engineers pick up 2 more goals in that period, although they did yield a shorty. So it is 5-2 after 2 periods of play, although the Engineers are only out shooting the Tigers 18-16. RPI 2 for 3 on power plays. Princeton 0 for their own.
Yeah, the scoreboard says 2 for 2, but they're actually 2 for 3 RPI. They had the 5-on-3. They scored on the initial penalty, and then the 5-on-4 ensuing after that. They did not score on that goal. So it's 2 for 3 if you're listening in the field house. But for RPI, that was a good period. They had a mental breakdown and letting up the shorthanded goal. But other than that, that was their only blemish. Diebold played really well, and they just got to keep their foot on the gas. They can't let up and let Princeton back into this game. Princeton looks like a tired team right now. But if RPI does that, they will go into next weekend with a 3-point weekend.
Yes, a lot of factors at play working against Princeton here. I mean, if you even approach it from just the starting point, assuming both teams are healthy, RPI still probably has an edge just in depth and talent, and however you want to measure it. But then Princeton, racked by injuries, which takes their top 2 scorers from last year out of the lineup completely, and then because they're dealing with so many injuries, they have to dress 1 fewer skater than usual, and that is uneven because they only have 10 forwards to RPI's 12, and RPI's been rolling 4 lines tonight, and all 4 lines have been really skating around Princeton's 3 1/3 lines. So even with that extra defender, the extra defender though, Hayden Anderson for Princeton, a freshman, we've called his name maybe once. He has not gotten a lot of minutes. So Princeton short bench, and it is kind of burning them, and it might even get worse for them in the third with the fatigue of the first 2 periods already behind them, plus the fatigue of yesterday's game at Union. So up ahead here in the second intermission, I'll be back in a second with an alumni report. We'll catch you up on what some former Engineer players are doing, either playing in the pros, playing overseas, coaching, what have you. So, Ed, take us out of here.
Score after 2 periods of play is RPI 5, Princeton 2. You're listening to live coverage of Engineer Hockey on 91.5 FM, WRPI Troy.
Hi, this is Meet RPI TV. My name is Jose Benitez. I'm going to be the host of this talk show for at least the remainder of this semester. Hi, this is Meet RPI TV. My name is Jose Benitez. I'm going to be the host of this talk show for at least the remainder of this semester. And here I have Mr. Doug Kingman, senator from the freshman class, Senator Michael Goldenberg, sophomore class, right? Mm-hmm. And the Grand Marshal, Mike Dillon. Well, thank you for being here.
hockey, we'd like to wish Alan Duncan Crawley a happy 18th birthday and Gabe Audette a happy 4th birthday. RPI offers credit courses, customized programs, summer enrichment programs, and sports camps for you to explore and begin to develop your passions and interests. Visit the Summer at Rensselaer website at summer.rpi.edu and see what we have for you.
Hi, I'm Coach Seth Acker, and I'm turning to a Jones, reminding you to stay safe on the ice this winter. But if you are injured in a car accident, call us. For consultation, for advice, for your hometown attorneys, we're here to help.
Without the stuff that we make here, you wouldn't be able to walk in your house and flip on your lights.
At GE, we build turbines that power the world. They go into power plants, which take some form of energy, harness it, and turn it into more efficient electricity.
When I was a kid, I wanted to work with my hands. That was my thing. I really enjoyed building turbines. It's nice to know that when you're building, it's going to do something for the world.
When people think of GE, they typically don't think about gear. A lot of people may not realize that the power needed to keep their Budweiser cold and even to make their beer comes from turbines made right here.
So do you make beer?
No, we make the power that makes beer.
So when I do that, you don't mind?
That's right.
We like beer.
The RPI Student Union is a proud supporter of the men's and women's hockey programs and all RPI intercollegiate teams through funding provided by the Student Activity Fee. A reminder, next week, your Engineers battle Denver University next Friday and Saturday right here at the Field House. The puck drops at 7 o'clock both nights.
This season to get on the air for men's and women's ice hockey and later on baseball if you so desire. If interested, please email us at wrpi-sports@rpi.edu.
Thank you, Ed. 3 goals in that second period, 2 for the Engineers, 1 for the Tigers. Matt Neal made it 4-1 at 3:43 of the second. On the 5-on-3 power play from Haggerty and Laliberte. So 2 assists for Jacob Laliberte this afternoon. And Ryan Haggerty with a goal and an assist to go with Matt Neal's goal and 2 assists. Jonathan Liao on the shorthanded, unassisted breakaway goal coming at 5:12. That made it 4-2. And then Brock Higgs just digging everybody out of their pads, picking up an even strength goal, unassisted at 12:42 of the second. That's where we stand, 5-2 in favor of the homestanding Engineers. RPI is out shooting Princeton 18-16 through 2 periods of play. And Sean Bonner now in net for the Tigers. He came in at the start of the second period after Colton Finney led things off for Princeton in the first. Scott Diebold with 14 saves for RPI against 16 Princeton shots. RPI 2 for 3 on the power play. Princeton 0 for 2. The teams will switch sides. Sean Bonner in goal to my left for Princeton. The Tigers will skate in front of him from left to right across your radio dial there in the road black with orange and white trim, white letters and black helmets. In goal to my right, Scott Diebold for RPI. Engineers are in the home white with red helmets, red and black trim and red numbers. Ryan Haggerty having a bit of a chat with the referee before we get going here. There are 20 minutes up on the big board. Haggerty, Higgs, and Neal, the forward line for RPI. Brockett, Liao, and Berger, the forward line for the Tigers. LaBeouf and Leonard, your RPI D-men. Goodwin and Rush, your D-men. Ave and Rush, your D-men for Princeton. Puck in the neutral zone. Engineers narrowly avoid being offside. Dangerous play there as Rush almost turns it over, but he's able to shield the puck from Neal, who is charging in, looking to strip it away and charge in on the attack. Engineers with a 3-goal lead here at Houston Fieldhouse. Higgs intercepts, red line, dumps in. Forwards will change, defensemen will change for RPI. Here comes Brockett. He'll leave the pass for Liao, left wing side. Liao top of the circle, shot comes in, it's blocked. Backhand chance by Berger on the second effort, but it's steered aside and Bubella will come away with it and break out. He'll go the length. He avoids approaches. He's got Laliberte in front. Fed one in front, looking for him, but nothing doing. Puck loose in the Princeton zone. Dolan skating to his right to go get it. He'll flip it up high on the boards, wrap around to the near side. Zaleski has some trouble with it as it comes up on its side, or on its edge rather, and puck is in the left wing corner with a minute gone in the third period. Bradley will tip it ahead. Now Laliberte to the point for Dolan. Dolan winding up, fakes the shot, pulls to his right instead. Top of the circle, Rister comes in, it's up in the air, it's loose. Zaleski hacking at it, but nothing doing there, and it comes to the left wing corner. It's grabbed by Liao, who reverses it to the far side for Crocius. He tried to lead out Poppy, who gets it on the deflection and will carry it in. Poppy pulls up right wing circle, wait for his teammates to come in off the bench, but it's turned over. Tenorti leaves for Schrader over the logo, moving to his right. Here comes Schrader. He's got Rajic crashing the net. Schrader crunched into the boards as the puck goes behind the net. Stolen by Carlson. Carlson gets hit hard by Tenorti, and Rajic keeps it alive just inside the blue line on that right side. Tenorti takes behind the net. He's smeared out against the board. He falls down, but Rajic comes over to help and pick it up. Circles it to Karate at the point. Back to Tenorti. Tenorti has it left wing half board. Shot came in, sharp angle, deflects right to Reno at the point, who'll just bat it toward the end boards. Reno keeps it alive with the skate twice, but the Tigers work it free on the third opportunity. Here comes Rankin, right wing side. Sharp angle shot, turned away by Diebold, and it goes behind the net. There's Karate on his backhand, tries to clear, can't, but Haggerty is over to help. Princeton jams it up on the half boards, knifed at by Kesselman. A couple players there. And Haggerty grabs it. He'll retreat a bit, cross ice past to Neal. He's got Higgs breaking, but Neal will just keep it and cross over. He'll dump in. Neal charges in after it as Higgs and Haggerty change behind him. Ave gets it out of the zone for Ciro. And it's taken by LaBeouf in his own end. He'll turn it over to Rush. Here comes Ave, turned over again. Bourbonnais tries to split the D with some speed, but it's hacked away by Princeton. Neutral zone, grabbed by Ammon, and dumped in deep with 3 minutes gone in this third period. Leonard lifts one, tried to clear, but not out, as Neal finally grabs it. Neal has been caught on the ice on a very long shift. LeBoeuf and Goodwin there got tangled up right in front of the RPI bench. LeBoeuf falling down now. Bourbonnais has a chance in front, very down and deep, but denied by the leg of Bonner. Back the other way comes Liao on his backhand, misses everything. Puck comes to the near side. Lifted out by Zaleski, it's on edge. This will roll pretty far back. Anderson gets there before it's icing. And now Bubella will fight to try and strip it away for RPI. Puck left wing side, grabbed by Laliberté. He has some space, fires the shot. Blocker saved by Bonner, goes behind the net. Laliberté taking advantage of the turnover to put one on the net, but it's blockered away. Now Dolan from the point, deflected by Zaleski. It lands at his feet, then he falls down. Here come the Tigers. It's Liao crossing over, left wing side. He's got Brockett spinning around and then fires one well wide on that far side. Good play by Brockett, though, to set it up. Now a chance in front for Berger. Puck still loose in the crease. Zaleski on it. Brockett, everyone there just falling down. Finally freed by the Engineers. It's Fulton. He'll skate laterally just to kill some time and maybe have someone catch up. He gets past his man. He's got Rogic charging. Saucer pass, sauced up way too high. Rogic had to glove it down. Could not get a shot on goal. But now Rogic has it right wing corner. He's bothered by a pair of Princeton players, but they can't clear. Held at the point by Reno. Fired in. Missed everything. Karate again. Big drive by Karate, but it's deflected by Berger out in front. Again, Karate as the Engineers corral. Karate skating backwards, looking to set up a shot. Instead goes to the far corner. Has it on his backhand. Turned over, Tigers take neutral zone. Engineers reverse it as that rally was canceled out by RPI. Here come the Tigers. Pass got through Zajac, and that's icing, ending a very long, uninterrupted stretch of play there.
Yeah, 14:56 left to play in the third period. 5-2, RPI and Princeton. Bourbonnais had a chance right on the doorstep, but Bonner right up there, up to the task. And then a couple shifts ago, Rogic just had to glove it down as if the pass from Fulton was just too deep.
Higgs against Ford for the draw. RPI on the attack. Glove down at the point by Leonard. He'll wrist one toward the net. It's paddled away by Bonner to the far corner. Neal and his man do work. Zajac comes over to help. Higgs tries to lift the stick and peel it away, but Zajac holds. It's off the far half boards, but not out. Haggerty back to keep it just inside the blue. Haggerty winds up. Big drive. Deflected by Ford, who's down on the ice. And we're going to get a penalty here. Was that a rough or a high stick?
Looked like he signaled a high stick. 14:32 left to play in the third. 5-2 RPI. It almost looked like a change-up in baseball for a pitcher from Haggerty. He wanted to wind up, but I think he had to take some of that off of it. He had one of his own players down in front of the net, and that is why, because Sabo was going up on the cross-check. And, yeah.
Engineers on the power play. They're fourth of the game. They're 2 for 3. As it's cleared by Princeton immediately. So Marlon Sabo in the box for Princeton, off on a cross check. Here comes Neal. He crosses it to Higgs as the Engineers gain the zone. But Higgs is met by Kesselman at the boards, and Kesselman was able to wheel it out of there, out of harm's way for the time being. Minute 30 to go. RPI power play. They'll try to work it from their own end. Haggerty has it at the logo. He dekes by Ciro. Good move by Haggerty. Now he'll pull up at the left circle. His centering pass got deflected by Princeton. And then you just try to keep it alive. It's Neal. He had Dolan breaking, but fanned on the pass. Now Dolan gets it back at the point finally. Dolan, shot comes in, deflects away, goes behind the net. Laliberté fighting there. Princeton player is down on his backside. That is Pompey. He might be sitting on the puck. No, the puck squirts free, just as I say that, of course. So out come the Tigers. Ciro 2-on-2 with Ammon. Ciro gains the blue, fires it in, but it's taken and stolen off the deflection by RPI. The Engineers put out their number 2 power play unit. It is Zaleski, Bubella, Tenorti, your forwards, and then Leonard and Bradley, your point men. Here comes Leonard at the red. He'll steer it in. It wraps around to the far side. Princeton fans on the clearing effort, but the second chance is flung out and goes down the length of the ice. 25 seconds to go. RPI power play. Certainly not their best effort on the power play so far this game, as Zaleski breaks out with it. Red line, blue line. He's got Bubella behind him. He'll pull up, give it to Bradley just inside the blue. Bradley to Leonard. Leonard moves laterally, back to Bradley, who let it bank off the boards before he feeds Zaleski. Now it's Bubella all alone in front, denied! Second chance for Bubella. He gets hit from behind as he tries to wheel around and take the second shot as the Princeton, as Sabo comes out of the box. Now Sabo's back the other way. He had a chance in the slot on the offensive chance there, but it was tied up by Bradley, and now the puck in the neutral zone. Milos Bubella he just got untracked in front of the net and had a good shot from in close, but was denied by Bonner as the Engineers have it muddied up in their own zone. 12:05 to go, third period. Engineers clear. Would have been icing if it was thrown down there forcefully enough, but instead Crocius must go back and get it. He's bothered by McGowan. He and McGowan tumble down to the ice as the puck goes into the neutral zone. Karate banks it off the near boards, trying to set up Rajic. Instead, it's turned over. Here comes Princeton. Rankin, left wing side. He'll reverse direction, and he gets canceled out by a check from Reno. Now Karate takes it behind the net. Here comes Karate, up for Rajic. Over the blue line. He avoids a check there as Bonner, not taking any chances, just hooks it in with the paddle and covers.
Yeah, right at that tail end of the power play, Milos Bubella right on the doorstep, and he was denied by Bonner, but the rebound came right out to Bubella again. Bubella was not in position to make the play. Had to go to his backhand, and he whiffed on it. 11:29 left to play in the third, 5-2 RPI.
Higgs, Haggerty, Neal, your forwards for RPI. Face-off taken by the Tigers, but Haggerty sprints over there and just steals it right away in the slot. Now Leonard will knuckle one in from just inside the point. Higgs to Neal with some space. Sharp angle shot. Ripped it just high and wide, and Haggerty takes. Haggerty has it stolen. Princeton with a 4-on-2 if they hurry. Here comes Rankin, right wing side ahead. Pass in front, broken up by a diving Leonard. That was Kesselman, tried to center it. But Leonard down on his stomach, breaking up the pass. The Engineer, on these odd man breaks, the Engineer D have that tendency to lie prone to try to break up the pass, figuring the defender will break up the pass, the goalie will square to the shooter. Pretty standard.
10:49 left to play in the third period. It's 5-2 RPI over in Hamden, Connecticut. It's 3-1 Quinnipiac. That's 17:30 into the third, however. So RPI women have a long way to go to catch up to that one.
Face-off comes at center ice. And Bradley made a high hit there on Rush. They both went tumbling down. Now Ammon just kind of threw himself at Bradley behind the net. Couple of big hits there as the Tigers dump it in. Diebold behind the net to settle it down. And it's behind the net. Dolan for Bradley. Lally Berthet lost it in his skates. Now it's loose. Finally grabbed by Zaleski. Chips it high off the glass and out. Lally Berthet battling with Rush right at the Engineer blue. And it's freed by the Engineers. Dolan takes his own zone ahead for Bubella. Now Dolan forced to retreat as Liao comes in. Now Rush, high slot. Wrister deflects on its way in. Saved by Diebold. And the puck is grabbed by the Engineers. Here comes Zaleski. Red line, dumps it in. Engineers get a wholesale change behind him as the third period now halfway over. McGowan in on the forecheck. Puck comes high off the boards, kept alive by Fulton. He's got some space. Top of the left circle. He'll charge into the slot. Lobs one toward the net. Kind of a soft wrister. Maybe looking for a rebound there, but not having any of it as Bonner puts the mitt on it and holds it.
I think that's exactly what Fulton was looking to do as he just flipped it in on Bonner. Looking for the rebound that he had McGowan going in front of the net, but Bonner held on to it. 24-19 shots on goal, 5-2, both in favor of RPI. 9:42 left to play in the third.
McGowan and Carlson on the draw. It gets directed into the near corner. McGowan takes a big hit from Zajac. Puck loose, over to get it Pompey, but not out. Now finally out on the second chance. Karate back to get it for RPI. He'll hoist one up. This goes the length, gloved down by Pompey and crossed. Pompey to Crocius, back to Pompey. Right wing side attacking zone. Pompey gets pushed off the puck by Karate. And Karate to Bourbonnais advanced. Bourbonnais gets it back. Tried to cross ice for Fulton, who's in on the attack. Whoa! Fulton gets upended into the Princeton bench. Head over heels by Crocius. And now the And now we have Kesselman was very slow to get out on the line change there to keep Fulton down in the bench. And the Tigers are offside, so that was a big hit into the Princeton bench there. Yeah.
Fulton got leveled right into the Princeton bench, and Kesselman was coming out at the same time. I think fans wanted a penalty on Kesselman. He was preventing Fulton from coming off back onto the ice.
Neutral zone draw. And it's the Tigers shove it in deep, but the Engineers were able to clear, so they cancel each other out. Still in the neutral zone. Now Leonard, LaBeouf, around for Tenorti. Crossed, taken by the Tigers. Kind of working in a big square here, just in that last sequence, just inside both blue lines, and it's finally in on Diebold, and he'll just cover up for the whistle.
Yeah, 8:25 left to play in the third, 5-2 RPI over Princeton, and RPI keeps playing like the way they're playing. They're not exactly in a prevent yet, but they're not putting as much offensive pressure in as they can.
So it looked like when Fulton got sent head over heels there, his skate hit the helmet of one of the Princeton players. Now Haggerty and Neal, 2-on-0. Cross ice pass to Neal. He's denied by Bonner, who is moving to his right to make the save. Now Princeton the other way. Liao working one-on-one, has it broken up. Liao gets pushed off the puck. Haggerty and Neal snuck in 2-on-0. Haggerty crosses to Neal. Neal does not finish. Bonner denies him, moving to his right with the leg pad.
And then Neal tried to get it back to the point, but there was nobody trailing the play for RPI. So chance by the wayside.
Face off in the RPI zone to the left of Diebold. 8:09 to go, third period. RPI with the 5-2 edge. Zaleski against Liao on the draw. Zaleski removed from the circle, so Lally Berthet will take the draw instead. Puck dropped, won cleanly by Lally Berthet back into that corner. And Dolan will race there with Brockett, and it's tied up. 8 minutes to go, third period. Puck freed, Zaleski grabs it for RPI. Neutral zone, red line, blue line, left wing side. He gets put to the boards, but is able to keep possession as momentum carried him through Babella from the circle. Pushed the shot wide on the near side. Reno comes in to keep it alive, but it goes into the neutral zone anyway. Zaleski moves to his left, and the Engineers will change on the dump. Taken by Rush. He avoids Higgs on the forecheck. And it carries it all the way into the attacking zone after worming his way through the neutral zone, avoiding some defenders. Centering pass by Princeton. That was Zajac. Now it's behind the net. Berger banks off the boards. One-timer shot by Rush. Misses everything. Goes over the net. Comes to the left side where Pompey is there. Pompey had his pass deflect over to the near side in front. Reno and Berger both hacking at it, and it's tipped into the netting.
Well, Diebold was kind of late trying to play that shot. He had to play the deflection. There was a Princeton player crossing in front of the net at the same time the shot was taken. He couldn't go up to make the save in case it got deflected. So RPI was sort of lucky that it was too high to go into the net. 7:07 left playing the third, 5-2 RPI.
Kesselman against Rogic for the draw, won cleanly by the Engineers, grabbed by LaBeouf. He'll lead out to Norty, up to Schrader. Schrader has it left wing circle, but it's poke checked away by Crocius into the left wing corner. Engineers keep it alive. Rogic able to get the skate on it. Now LaBeouf holds it in right on the blue line. No, he doesn't. They're going to say that was offside. Looked on. We had a pretty good view of it from our vantage point, but nevertheless, Princeton takes, dumps it in. LaBeouf will get it, grab it on his backhand, and wheel it around to the near side. Leonard will take. Up for Tenorti. Tenorti, red line, blue line, and he's offside. He had Schrader breaking in, and I think Schrader was a half step offside.
Yeah, he also had McGowan, too, on the near side, so I think both of those, you saw Schrader, I saw McGowan offside. I think both of them were offside. 6:26 left to play in the third, 5-2 RPI over Princeton. And RPI has this game pretty much well in hand, but you never know.
Draw taken by the Engineers. They'll advance it, but Fulton tried to hit Bourbonnais, the trailer. They don't connect, so it's back RPI's way. Bradley shovels it out on his backhand, then bats it out of the air. 2 clearing attempts right in a row by Bradley. So Princeton forced to retreat with it back in their own end. Goodwin had it, took a shove from Fulton. This Fulton line getting a lot of ice time now that the Engineers had this big lead late. And here comes Dolan at the logo. He'll slap one in. It wraps around to the far side where Bourbonnais takes it. He gets sandwiched in between two Princeton players, so McGowan will go grab on that right wing side. Now Bourbonnais to Laliberté in the circle. Back to the point, Reno sends one in. Laliberté deflected it, goes over the net, goes behind. Now at the doorstep, that was Bourbonnais jamming at it, but it wasn't going anywhere, and the Tigers able to squirt it out to center. Laliberté grabs to Reno, and Reno fires it on net. It's just gloved down. That was from the neutral zone, just gloved down by Bonner. There's a whistle.
5:25 left to play in the third. 5-2 RPI over Princeton. And you're right, this Fulton-McGowan line has been logging a lot of ice time, especially in this third period. And they seem to be playing with, mixing up with a different forward. It's Fulton-McGowan and Laliberté in different forward each time.
So face-off taken. Engineers have to go retreat into the neutral zone, but then they bring it back in. Laliberté with Zaleski out there. Now Zaleski back behind the net. He's got Leonard, top of the circle, left side. Leonard pulls up. One-timer by LeBoeuf. Sails past everybody on the near side. So Leonard dumps it back in. Laliberté behind the net. Finds Zaleski, right wing half boards. Back to Laliberté in the corner. Grabbed by Ave. Over to the right wing half boards for Ammon, but not out. As Laliberté grabs it high in the slot. He's got some space. Shot comes in. Rebound loose. But Bonner, after making the initial save, gave up the rebound, but then pounced on it right in front of him and covered.
Yeah, Zaleski was crashing the net. Bonner packed up the rebound into his own crease, and Zaleski was right there, almost a fight to take it away, but Bonner was able to cover up. 26-19 left. 26-19 shots on goal in favor of RPI. 4:49 left to play in the third. 5-2 RPI over Princeton.
Offensive zone draw for the Engineers. Higgs had it tied up at the dot. Now 3-on-2 for Princeton, but it's broken up by Bradley, but they regroup. Now 3-on-3. Berger! Oh, Berger put it in, and it was deflected by Rankin. Great play, but Rankin just, with those deflections, it's a matter of chance sometimes, and that went right into Diebold's chest.
Just a reminder, you are listening to 91.5 FM WRPI Troy. Coverage of men's ice hockey here from the Houston Fieldhouse. Ed DeGuerin along with Rob Trichinelli on the call for you. 5-2 RPI, 4:38 left to play in the third.
Faceoff coming to Diebold's left. RPI moves it into the area behind the net. Bradley takes. Now Tenorti off the near boards. Bit of a scramble for it as the Tigers grab. Canceled out. Taken by Princeton. Berger and Tenorti both hacking at it. And it goes to Dolan in the RPI zone. Dolan sends it off those far boards, and the puck is tipped up into the Princeton bench, so the faceoff will come back Princeton's way.
4:11 left to play in the third. 5-2 RPI over Princeton. 26-20 shots in favor of RPI. In Hamden, Connecticut, it is the final score. Quinnipiac has defeated the RPI women 3-1.
Rogic against Carlson for the draw to Bonner's left. Won by the Engineers. Back to Reno at the point. His shot comes in, but wide on the far side. Princeton grabs the rebound and tries to skate it out. That is Liao. Over the logo, he avoids Schrader, but has some trouble getting around Reno. Reno puts him to the boards as he advances it all the way to the RPI zone. Puck loose, near side. Karate gets there first, chips it up off those near boards, but it's held in at the point by Pompey, who jumped up to glove it down. Dumped in deep. Karate grabs, wraps it around near side. Tenorti grabs it on edge, tries to settle it. He gets checked down, and Rogic able to dump it in, and the Engineers change. Fulton in on the forecheck. Fulton blocking the breakout pass. And now Reno helping out on that far side as Carlson tried to dump it in, and Reno tied it up. Now McGowan working 3-on-3. Takes it at the left wing circle. Sharp angle shot, skitters through everything, and it's grabbed by Zajac ahead for Ford. Turned over, grabbed by Fulton, who'll skate it in. Crocious tries to clear. Instead it goes to Ford at the half boards ahead for Zajac. He'll work with Leonard, who gives him a shove. Now it's behind the net. Bourbonnais, grabbed by Zajac, wrapped around. McGowan will get their first far half boards with just under 3 to go in the third period. RPI with the 5-2 lead. Princeton with the puck in their own zone. It's Rush, near side. LeBoeuf checked Brockett down hard from behind. Brockett looks a little shaken up as Bourbonnais advances it. Bourbonnais takes a shot from Berger. He gets checked into the boards. And here come the Tigers. Up for Berger over the logo. Bradley falls down, allowing Princeton to come in. Shot comes from that far side, and it's just swallowed up by Diebold. There's a whistle.
2:28 left to play in the third, 5-2. RPI still leads over Princeton. I think the referees have pretty much put the whistles away, and they look like they're anxious to get this one over with, as LaBeouf borderline call. Maybe if it was earlier in the game, he would have gotten that penalty call, but he didn't.
Offensive zone draw won by the Tigers. The dump-in attempt gets tipped up in the air. Now it's at Laliberte's tape. He'll reverse it to Bradley, and Bubella has it stripped away by Ammon, but the puck skitters into the neutral zone, so the Tigers have to tag up. A couple of passes for Princeton. Now it's up to Kesselman, right wing side. He loses it in the linesman skates. Puck just sitting there waiting for somebody to come hack at it. Laliberte finally does, and it's back Princeton's way with 2 minutes left in this third frame. Engineers up 5-2. No scoring yet in this period. We may not see one at the rate this has been going. Not a lot of quality offensive chances. RPI did have that 2-on-0 with Haggerty and Neal, who are now out there. Haggerty gets put to the boards hard by Goodwin. He's a little slow to get up, but he's going back right in on the forecheck as the puck is behind the Princeton goal. Neal now the primary forechecker. Puck gets by him, but Karate grabs it in front of his own bench and dumps it in deep. Rajic will go get it at the far half boards, keep it alive on his backhand into that far corner. Minute 15 to go, third period, RPI with the 5-2 edge. Here come the Tigers, it's Liao. He gets checked by Reno in the attacking zone. Karate wraps it around, just outreaching Tenorti, lets Rush keep it alive. Rush, big drive, misses just inside that near post. Reno tried to flip it out, misses, so Tenorti is able to get it out on the second effort with a minute to go. Up to Schrader. Schrader avoids a hard check from Rankin, feeds Tenorti in front. Tenorti sent it to McGowan, who's fresh off the bench, top of the circle, shot deflects, misses, and it hits a leg and goes into the neutral zone. LaBeouf, cross-ice pass for Leonard, back to LaBeouf, 40 seconds remaining in regulation. Engineers look like they will take this one and get the 2 points out of it as McGowan in on the attack for RPI. Behind it, now to the near side, LaBeouf, top of the circle. His drive comes in, it's loose in front, back to LaBeouf. He fires, but it goes right into the elbow of Zajac out in front. LaBeouf gets it back, 20 ticks to go. Shot from Leonard on the far point, gets steered aside. Now back to Leonard, he has it on his backhand. He'll try to feed Bourbonnais, who will just advance it into the right wing corner. McGowan crashes into Rush. 5 seconds to go. Puck muddied up there in that zone. RPI can't free it. McGowan will steer it to Bourbonnais as time expires. There's the horn. This one is over. The Engineers pick up the 5-2 win in dominating fashion. Not a lot to speak of in that third period because, Engineers have pretty much written the script on this one after 2. RPI gets 3 points on the weekend between the tie yesterday and now the win here at home against Princeton. Got to be happy with their effort tonight, except for those couple of miscues that led to goals. Yeah, you said it, not a lot in the third period, but RPI didn't have to do a lot. They just had to play the period even and hope Princeton didn't get 3 goals. Instead, they got 0. They didn't exactly let their foot off the gas, just a little bit. They probably went from about 40 miles an hour to about 30. So just enough to keep Princeton honest and in the game and realize that they're in the game, but they, enough to keep people safe, healthy, and keep this game in hand and really not make any mistakes. But a good, solid game by RPI, except for those 2 goals they let up. One was just a bad mental breakdown on a power play, which led to the second Princeton goal on the shorthand. And the first one was, I don't know if you can call it a mental breakdown. It was just a good reach from a tall player enabled them to get the first goal on the scoreboard for Princeton. But a good, solid game for RPI and one that hopefully for the Engineers builds momentum going into next weekend, a big non-conference weekend against Denver, and then heading into the Christmas break and before heading out to Minnesota to play in the icebreaker out there. Yeah, so RPI with a bit of a break in the conference schedule. I mean, do you think we're going to learn a lot about what this RPI team is made of in these next couple of games? Or what do you anticipate from RPI in the next couple of games with some of those non-conference tilts you were mentioning?
Well, I think I think non-conference are okay. I mean, you look at BU, you look at UNH. Yeah, BU's not the BU of years past. UNH, they may not be the UNH of years past, but they're coming on as well. Even Seth Everett was pleased the way they played against BC, but they're always BC. So I think out of conference, they have a great showing. They seem to keep up with anybody in the nation. I think we've seen that. I think in the ECAC, that's where you have trouble because you have teams more defensive. Typically, is a more defensive league, whereas RPI is a more offensive-oriented team. So I think if you could shore up your league play, that's where you're going to win your games. Out of conference schedule, Minnesota, Denver, and Minnesota coming up, I think they'll be okay against those teams. I really do.
So before the game, Coach Atman had said that last night was the best he's felt about his forwards all year. Do you think he would continue? Do you think he would say that tonight continued that trend with the forward play?
Yes, I do. I was pleased with the forward play too. I think Princeton obviously is not as good of a team as Quinnipiac is at this point, but let's also not forget Princeton beat Quinnipiac. They were down 3-1. Princeton scores 3 goals in about the last 10 minutes of that game to beat Quinnipiac 4-3. So Princeton is definitely capable of scoring as well and surprising people, but I think defensively Quinnipiac was a lot more sound, and which is more in tune to RPI's game than Princeton was. I think Princeton gave the forwards fits a little bit because Princeton tied up the puck so much more and took away that open ice for the players to get open.
So why don't I run down the scoring and some other miscellaneous stat notes. Then, Ed, you can pick your offensive and defensive engineers of the game. Getting things started for RPI at 3:03 of the first period. That was Chris Bradley, his second of the year, from Zach Schrader and Travis Fulton. And then the Engineers made it 2-0 just 23 seconds later. Brock Higgs on that wraparound goal from Matt Neal and Bradley. So Bradley factoring on the first two.